On the news, Bola Ahmed Tinubu sworn in as the 16th president of Nigeria. Umar Basieno sworn in as governor of Akwa Ibom State. Plus, former President Muhammadu Buhari approves executive directors for Nigerian Television Authority. A very good morning and many thanks for joining us. My name is Joy Ubani. Note that this broadcast is reaching you live on StarTimes channel 103 and on our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Do well to follow and like us. And on to the news. Hope for a renewed vigor and greater prosperity for Nigeria resounded as Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in as the 16th president of the country. President Tinubu and his second-in-command, Kashim Shettima, took the oath of office at the Eagle Square, Abuja. Musbao Dan Wahab brings us the details.
In our midst, the president-elect.
A Monday morning auspiciously became the start of a new political dispensation in Nigeria. Nigeria's day in the sun after a wet morning. Millions of Nigerians within and outside the country, as well as global observers, looked on as Nigeria changed its leadership button. Within this arena were representatives of the world, here to be part of yet another significant moment in the history of the most populous African nation. So, some steps were needed to activate a new administration that promises hope. Nigeria's new VP, Kashim Shettima, and then his principal and President Bola Tinubu pledged to defend the nation and always choose her over personal considerations. A tenure ended and another began with the lowering and hoisting of the national and military colors. And formations of the Nigerian Armed Forces added color to this event, ushering in a new commander-in-chief. And then, a moment to project hope. President Bola Tinubu commended the efforts of his predecessor, former President Muhammadu Buhari, for his leadership and guiding the values of democracy. Acknowledging the turbulent moments the country has endured in time past, the President assures all that Nigeria will remain one notwithstanding, promising a representative government that will engender fairness and equality.
Our day will stand forth as Africa's most populous nation and as the best hope and strongest champion of the black race.
President Tinubu reiterated his administration plans to defend the nation against any threats, develop agriculture, improve infrastructure, and create job opportunities amidst urgent reforms that will remodel and grow the economy at a faster rate.
We shall remodel our economy to bring our growth, achieve the GDP much better than we have today. I assure you, my administration must create meaningful opportunities for our 1 million jobs and the digital economy.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rode to victory on the back of the slogan, "Renewed Hope," and Nigerians will join in with this new man at the helm of affairs, hoping that his tenure, greater prosperity and relief. In Abuja, Musbao and Wahab, NC News.
Again, Umar Basieno and Senator Akon Eyanyi have been sworn in as governor and deputy governor for Akwa Ibom State. Kevin Samuel reports that the new leaders have assured Akwa Ibom people of a golden era that will be led with the fear of God.
The event attracted the political class, the clergy, traditional rulers, captains of industry, sons and daughters of Akwa Ibom State who converged to witness the historic event. Akwa Ibom State Umoeno assures of all-inclusive government while calling on the political class to join hands with him to build upon the foundations laid by past leaders.
Our state is nationally known as one of the peaceful states in the country. It is in our social contract to continue to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, our elections are over, and our kindred spirit must be renewed and deepened. We are all Akwa Ibomites, first before politics. Politics, therefore, must not separate or sever the ties of our brotherhood and common heritage and aspirations. I pledge to you all today, friends and foes alike, that I'll be governor for all Akwa Ibomites, irrespective of political persuasions or affiliations.
Eno, an entrepreneur who had his first foray in public service as chairman Hotels and Tourism Board in 2004, served in different capacities before he was later appointed as Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources in 2021 by Governor Udom Emmanuel, where he served until the 2023 gubernatorial election beckoned. Umar Baseno is the fifth democratically elected governor in Akwa Ibom State. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Following the successful transition from one civilian administration to another in Nigeria, Nigerians say the nation's democracy remains a leading example for other African countries. They were speaking shortly after the inauguration of Pastor Umoeno as governor of Akwa Ibom State. Clement Barikwi reports.
It is the beginning of a new era for Nigerians, and this era comes with hope and expectations for the people. At the state level, the people are wishing that Pastor Umoeno will build on existing legacies of his predecessors.
Akwa Ibom people, Akwa Ibom State, they are very lucky to have Pastor Umoeno as a governor of the state. Umoeno promised to carry all the youth. He promised to make an empowerment.
Arise. That's the slogan, and I believe he will implement it, just as his predecessor, the outgoing governor, has talked about peace.
My expectation from Umoeno is that he's going to give us a superlative representation. You know, Umoeno has made a wealth in the private sector, and there's no doubt that he will not transfer that to the public sector.
Being a pastor, that is number one. The Bible said, when the righteous is on the throne, the people rejoice. That's number one. Number two, he's an entrepreneur. He's a capitalist. So he has what it takes to run this state.
Others say the successful transition from one democratically elected leader to another is a clear indication that the country's democracy is stabilizing.
Sometimes one was afraid that because things were so bad that maybe the military might intervene, but that has not happened. That means that Nigeria has matured democratically, and we look forward to this continuing in the years ahead.
We are campaigning for sustainable democracy in Africa. So that's what I'm seeing here in Akwa Ibom, and also what is happening at the Eagle Square in Abuja. I see a sustainable democracy.
It's a culture that has come to stay. We have learned the ropes. We have done the administration. We have done the logistics. And we are now doing the processes of smooth handling and taking over. And we are getting used to it.
As the new leaders settle down for the task ahead, it is the hope of the people that their impact will be felt in no distant time. In Uyo, Clement Barikwi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, women participation in politics in Nigeria has been perceived as generally low. The narrative in Akwa Ibom State is different, as the political class is intentionally giving women their pride of place. This is indicative as the state witnessed the inauguration of its first democratically elected female deputy governor, Mrs. Akon Iyanginye. Umar Basiedet takes a look at the place of women in the democratic journey of Akwa Ibom State.
At the Nest of Champions venue of the inauguration of Governor Umoeno, women dressed in their colors comprised more than half of the population, cheering and hailing the new governor. This, they say, is in appreciation of the support women have enjoyed over the years till date, as witnessed by the number of women occupying political and elective positions across the state.
There is a saying that no women, no politics. And if you go around the field right now, if you go around the stadium, you will find that the majority of the people here are women. Women form an integral part, they play an integral role in Akwa Ibom politics. Especially in this particular election we just concluded, you couldn't have avoided women. The women's role was sacrosanct to the race.
Government try well for women, at least they do empowerment for women.
Now that you have a female deputy governor, what will be your expectations?
Oh my goodness, we know that she's going to support the women very well. She will support women in their business. She will create infrastructure for the youth. She will do so many things for the women.
We are advising the women to stay fast, be loyal to the government, loyal to the authority, and be honest to the authority.
Mindful of the important role women play in the polity, the men are not threatened at all, but rather advocate a 60% affirmative action for women in Akwa Ibom State.
We'll just keep pushing and to keep breaking ceilings because in every society, if you keep women down, then the society cannot go up.
The incoming should be able to expand the frontiers to accommodate more women and make more meaningful development. I go for 60 for women and 40 for men. That's my take.
You can see now the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State today is a woman. And by special grace of God, the outgoing Deputy Speaker of Akwa Ibom State was a woman. And we have a woman as a commissioner, so many commissioners in this outgoing government.
For the women of Akwa Ibom State, it can only get better. In Uyo, Umar Basirit, NTA News.
Still on women, recently Nigerian women have been charged to remain focused and united in their pursuit for their collective goals for societal good. This charge was at the 2023 International Women's Day celebrated by Women's Wing of the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, Ratawo, Akwa Ibom State Council. Our correspondent reports that the celebration was to encourage women in their collective efforts in line with the theme tagged Gender Equality Dialogue, embracing equity towards achieving gender equality in the world of work. Women's Wing of the Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Council, organized the celebration for the women to mark this year's International Women's Day with the theme Gender Equity Dialogue, embracing equity towards achieving gender equality in the world of work. Keynote speaker Dr. Happiness Uduk, in her presentation, encouraged women to be at their best in their professions.
Ask me on the basis that I'm qualified. Treat me on the basis that I deserve to do this and place me there to do it. And that's the message we're preaching now. Let's not just say give women, I don't talk about 35% affirmative action. I don't talk about 50. I talk about women, go back, prepare yourselves and come. And we have 100. Equity says 100, 100.
Chairman of the occasion and guests had words of encouragement for the women.
What can the world do without women? Nothing. So don't ever bring yourself down. Don't ever tell yourself you cannot do it. You can do it anywhere you go to. Women are just too much. I'm not saying it because I'm a woman. But in every generation, if I come back to this world, I remain a woman.
Look forward to see a day that a woman will stand up, pick nomination form, and say, I want to stand election to become the governor of Akwa Ibom State. And then I will see what you seated there will do.
Women will need to move themselves from one place to the other. Women will need to do how to cook, how to take care of themselves, to
The chairman Ratawo Akwa Ibom State Council Samuel Essien applauded women for their doggedness in the world of work.
Today we had the maiden edition of the women in Ratawo celebrating the International Women's Day. It's a beautiful thing that the women could come together to celebrate themselves. So it's an opportunity that I feel that women are in the union are growing.
In recent times we've had activities from different chapters of Ratawo, and today climaxes it all with the women wing of Ratawo coming up to celebrate the International Women's Day with the theme Gender Equity Dialogue, embracing equity towards achieving gender equality in the world of work. What else could we talk about? Women are striving towards equity, not equality, according to our keynote speaker.
I am so happy seeing women coming out to celebrate women in us, to celebrate our position, to celebrate what God has put in us.
Indeed, I think of joy seeing women of Ratawo looking so fantastic, so colorful. This, we have been seeing it in other unions, but it has come to the media fame. And I, as sincere as my name implies, I pray that this should exist for real.
While embracing equity towards achieving gender equality in the world of work, women have been reassured that the world has moved to equity in diversity, cultural fairness, and inclusion. While embracing equity towards achieving gender equality in the world of work, women have been reassured that the world has moved to equity in diversity, culture, fairness, and inclusion. In Uyo. Away from that, former President Muhammad Buhari on May 26 approved appointments of executive directors of the Nigerian Television Authority following the expiration of the tenure of former executive directors. Those appointed to the new positions are EJ Osage, Edo State Executive Director Engineering; Betsy Ihabu Nike, Anambra State Executive Director Marketing; Lawal Umar Lalu, Katsina State Executive Director Programs; Ayo Adewuyi, Osun State Executive Director News; Adamu Sambo, Adamawa State Executive Director Special Duties; Nancy Nimel, Plateau State Executive Director Administration and Training; Abdullahi Ismail Ahmed, Kaduna State Executive Director of Finance. The appointees are to serve for an initial 3 years, renewal for another 3 years. And that's the news. We thank you very much for being part of it. Next is the news in translation as Womedimos Samson is standing by. Good morning.
Tinubu abo ngwan zuri wonde yogo ara iwuru kara efreke dirutnyen Pastor mo eno abo ngwan zuri wonde ra iwuru kara Akwa Ibom State akana ra iwuru kara ite Muhammadu Buhari amek me ufa kamando tam ufa kutemu swanete NTA Akwa Ibom emesiero anyang meru wemedi mo Samson yai ko membok nyen sini no mufo kubaran seneme Pastor umoino yi akun eyagayi ebo onwan suwi wote rai wuru kara ye uriana rai wuru kara Akwa Ibom State me ufa rai wuru kara minku ema ido konni to Akwa Ibom State ebo kufa yo kara mi ebi kama no dem state mi keti usong ye kemba abasi ke ferefet ndaga yai kombogomi Kerina Madu ma waiso wo kembre politics mo kuo basi member ngi paisong me kamando tem usiagifia ndito iban yiden Akwa Ibom State emai wadi okworam ke wambri para me Godswill Akpabio International Stadium edidi wana ke adinam ubo ungon Suriwood ada iwuru kara State Army ke ma ke bo ungon Suriwood ma ufara iwuru kara Akwa Ibom State Pastor Moino ama atang abo ki yairiana ye frewu ibobo Akwa Ibom State anyong abo yak afenbun nkambru kara mfen koromma woisowo kembre politics ediriana ket man naturo eri kaiso inampo tiongo kitie ame akana yukara egetreke mbona mnori yongebo ke Pastor Moino ake tiongo utem ndeti woro bokoro ame hotels ye tourism board kiswa 2004 anyongwana mutum ke mention sio ikpege mbemiso ekemegenye nte a commissioner ufogutum ame sege mkpobanga isong yemmong esango kwa kiswa 2001 ame etude Emmanuel akemekenye ame nyeke kamake nutum ufogutumodo tutu arimi ambuba ifam ukara ada igwood ukara mbogana mnediongebu ke Pastor Umoino adu oyogo ada igwood ukara nkangafong ition ama Akwa Ibom State eniege mikuyo kenanga idut nyen ese kerunen ke upoko meyu karake iniama kem mbono buo kirut nyenebo kemme utori na mami anamno idut nyenera ke yogondaga ame idut mfen erata eti ukbe mpo eto amiedo iko ame mbono buo ketanga kerinam ubo ngongon suiwo Pastor Umo enoka Akwa Ibom State yaiko mbogo mi yogo ado ataufa oyo ukara amambono gwo kefat irut nyen nko ufa yu ukara me asanga ye idronyen eri kpungo ndaga irut nyen nkoro mensionsio mkpo sembono gwo eyem no ufa yu ukara me enam kendaga ame Akwa Ibom State mbono gwo ke Akwa Ibom ebo kemmimo iminie idronyen nteke Pastor Umoino ayana mkpo akene me nti ikpat isanga wo ayaka ukara anonye usongbono wo ema kyanga bo kenanga ukara irut nyen esano ukara eyake no oyu ukara mfen kemem agwrobo ken mbre ukara irut nyen asoko kaiso erinie oyogo ndaga nangantu fa yu ukara mi ebaka keri tiongo ubyangu temomo oyogo mbono wo bo kimenie idronyen ndeke ukara eya nampo no ke tuk a frefri pege man atoro fregu eri ria ufon ito ke State ye kirut nyen mekuyo bayedo ibwana iban kembre politics asu ke kirut nyen ado ukompo aba keme Akwa Ibom State nangante iban ekene ke wana enyongedo me kamando tem ukara ke State me utori na mami akeda kato arinam ubo ungongon suiwood ame uriana da igwood ukara Akwa Ibom State ma akun ne yagai nte pabungwan emeke kira ukara nkangafong yaikumbogo mi yogo K1 Brigpad ame Nest of Champions itieme egetumo arinam ubo ungongo nsuriwood ame adai wurukara Akwa Ibom State Pastor Umoino Meiban ke otogo mensionsio ikpege ema wo okwoguram erikirara ufa adaiwood ukara Akwa Ibom State ameke moibu kutori na mami awot mi beredem ame iban eria ufoneto kemme uwagiswa abuyokeko akpanakpan kemmofang enogo iban no ekenesne kotu mme kama ndutam ukara ke mensionsio ikpege State Army bayedo kemmofon ame ibane nama kembre politics iden ko etangabo ku fono paba kikbe no iban ufang edikena wana oyogo kikbege ukara Akwa Ibom State nkom iban ka Akwa Ibom State emaibo ke fanpo ayafon nangante ufa ukara amationgo oyogo mikuyo Akwa Ibom ntembok nyan ku bakan sene mi etrero nyang miadu wemedi mo sam sene sosonga kempang utong tutun dobreyo